Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 9 Frames Podcast. Hope you had a good weekend. This is episode 62, and it is Monday, December 18th, 2023. I'm Bill Whalen.
And I'm Mike Whalen.
Be sure to catch us, as always, on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is at 9 Frames Pod. Please follow us, subscribe, like, comment, and share if you enjoy the show.
Yeah, as the off-season rolls on, we appreciate the support, as I say every episode. Not as much as typical that we have to talk about today, but we will be talking about the All-MLB teams and a couple other notes.
Yeah, pretty slow weekend in baseball, but that's bound to happen during the offseason from time to time. We will keep you up to date on what happened on that weekend.
Yeah, especially with the news that the Yamamoto sweepstakes is supposed to pick up this week. It might get a bit more fast-paced as we get toward the middle of the week.
Yeah, that before Christmas date is definitely coming soon, so keep your eyes peeled. And speaking of the news that happened over this weekend, the biggest of it, what everybody's talking about, more Yamamoto meetings. This time, he met with both New York teams a second time. Second-time meetings are a big deal. We haven't heard about that yet. He met with the Mets at the home of owner Steve Cohen, and he met with the Yankees, I believe, at Yankee Stadium another time.
At the request of him.
Yeah, he requested that because he was in New York for the other meeting, probably.
He was in Connecticut for Cohen.
Okay,
Cohen
lives
up
in Connecticut. Correct, yeah.
And then he went down to, which it was kind of weird though, because it seemed like they had a pre-planned meeting, the Mets, and then he hastily put together a meeting with the Yankees because he was in town.
Which is crazy. Because
did he not know?
And it sounds like the Yankees have, since the beginning of this sweepstakes, been at least slight favorites
in the top
Mets.
two.
So then why is the Mets one more organized than the Yankee meeting? That's the one you'd think he'd be more interested in if that's his favorite.
It's got to make you think that maybe the Mets laid something really, really well out in front of him at that dinner at Cohen's house, and he wanted to hear what the Yankees' rebuttal was before he makes his decision this week.
But then the newest news said that the Mets weren't at the offer stage, right?
I mean, they're going to have to be this week because he said he's going to sign before Christmas. That's Sunday.
Yeah, they do have a week now as of yesterday, so we're probably going to be breaking that news this week if I had to guess, and it seems like it's one of the two New York teams, and then the Dodgers are a third option for him.
Yeah, and I've also heard Boston and Philly's name mixed in there as well for
he
them.
just met with the Phillies, and Boston is obviously a top candidacy. I still think this is going to come down to two New York teams, and it's starting to lean towards Yankees, sadly, but we're going to have to keep our eye on that, and it's going to be a huge signing.
Yeah, there's also no way that we could know.
No, not really. That's just what the news seems to dictate, but who knows?
Who knows what happened at that dinner?
Who really knows? Yamamoto and Steve Cohen, that's who.
Yeah.
And they're not talking.
Nope.
Moving on over to another big point. This one was pretty obvious. The Hank Aaron Awards for the most outstanding hitter from both leagues were awarded this weekend, and they went to none other than MVPs Ronald Acuna Jr. and Shohei Ohtani from the National League and American League, respectively.
Yeah.
This was a given.
Both won unanimous MVP, so it was a given they were going to win the Hank Aaron Award, which goes to the best hitter in each league.
Unanimous MVPs with their most impressive aspect of their game this year being their hitting. So it's a given and fully deserved. This was their year, fully.
Yeah, it's impossible to not give it to Acuna when he was the first one to have a 40-70 season, and then Ohtani leading the league in basically every offensive number in the American League, at least. Yeah, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, when you look back in the history books, the 2023 season will be pretty much bookmarked by Ronald Acuna Jr. and Shohei Ohtani. They really showed out this year, and their mantles are filling up quickly.
Two National League players now, just like that.
Very true. As Ohtani goes over to the Dodgers, that should be a fun matchup, Braves-Dodgers next year.
A lot of star power, that's for sure.
And this one, now we got a signing. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. will be headed back to Arizona on a 3-year, $42 million deal with a $14 million team option for the 2027 season. Love this deal.
Yeah, I really like that deal for the Diamondbacks. I like the trade originally for the Diamondbacks. They get their franchise catcher of the future, and then they get Gurriel as a secondary piece, and now he's become a mainstay in the bottom to middle part of their lineup, and he's going to be there for the next 3, possibly 4 years.
Yeah, this is a guy who just won NLCS MVP for them as they disposed of the Dodgers.
Was it him or was it Ketel Marte? I think it was Marte.
Oh, am I wrong on that?
Yeah, I think it was Ketel Marte.
All right, yeah, excuse me then. Well, either way, he was definitely in the discussion. That's why
he was one of the guys.
I think that's why I remember it, is because there were two favorites, and it was Marte or Gurriel, or perhaps Gurriel won the round before. Either way, he had a good postseason, and he stepped up in their deep run. Last year, he slashed 261, 309, 463. So those are like a little bit above MLB average, maybe. I think the slugging's a bit down. 24 homers and 82 RBI, though. Pretty solid in 145 games.
Yeah, $42 million over 3 years in this market isn't crazy either. So he's a pretty cheap option for what he supplies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I like this deal a lot, and not only this deal, but I like Arizona's offseason a lot so far.
Yeah,
they've been making good moves.
They went to the World Series and they've improved their roster. So that's all you can ask for if you're a Diamondbacks fan.
Yeah, the additions of Eduardo Rodriguez and now bringing back Gurriel, along with a couple other moves. They still have Seawald from that trade in July last year, which I thought was massive for them down the stretch.
Yeah, and they might not be done.
I don't think they are, honestly. That's a team that, especially now with how aggressive the Dodgers have been, they got to step up.
Definitely.
And now we will get into the All-MLB teams that were awarded this weekend as well. And we will get right into those All-MLB teams. And, man, there were a couple surprises on here. I would love to hear the weight of the fan vote as opposed to the vote of former players and coaches and all that, because this seems to be fan vote skewed.
Yeah, I was going to say you got to keep in mind when you're looking at All-MLB teams that it is partially fan voted. So some of them will be a little more of a head-scratcher. I see one in particular. We'll get into it right away. We'll start with the starting pitchers. We said three of them were basically locked. We were wrong about one of them. Sonny Gray does not make the first team. It goes Garrett Cole, who won unanimous MVP in the American League. We knew he'd grab it. Cy Young, excuse me. And then Blake Snell, who won Cy Young in the National League. So they were both guaranteed.
Of course.
Then we got Spencer Strider of the Atlanta Braves. Pretty odd with his nearly 4 ERA.
You can tell that's a fan vote one.
Yeah, and then Zach Gallen, I think he was deserving. He was very, very good for the D-backs this year. And then the one that really confuses me the most is Shohei Ohtani won first team All-MLB for pitching.
Yeah, it's not the last time you're going to see his name on the list either. This one was wild. Last year they gave him first team pitcher and second team DH.
Isn't it kind of ruining the validity of the awards when somebody who barely pitched, I mean, he didn't barely pitch, but
he had a good year this year.
He didn't have a better year than somebody like Kodai Senga, who didn't even make either list.
Now, what's really rough about this one is Sonny Gray, I thought was a full given, man. He was in the twos this year. He was the second in, he was the clear second place in the American League in Cy Young. Kevin Gausman's pretty shocking that he's not here when you see Spencer Strider's
Logan
name.
Webb.
Yeah. I
finished second in Cy Young in the
So
NL.
many Cy Young finalists not here.
Spencer Strider's there, though.
But you can see that fan favorites are here. Shohei Ohtani and Spencer Strider are two of the hottest names in baseball right now, and people really like that high-velocity, high strikeout style, and it's showing in the All-MLB team.
Yeah, I'll say it as like a preface. I really hate fan votes. I think the fans are stupid, and they should never be allowed to vote for all-star teams, anything of the sort.
When you have all of the fans voting like this, yeah, because you're going to get so many of the casual ones who don't fully know.
And then you get the biased people.
They just pick who they like.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's going to skew that way.
It's terrible.
A lot of the people on this list are the people that we would have put here anyway, but the starting pitcher particularly is where I'm just like, wow. A couple guys really got snubbed here.
Yeah, and a couple guys who I don't think deserved first team got it. I mean, Spencer Strider had a lot of strikeouts, but he also had like a 3.80 ERA. Like, come on.
My personal list was Ohtani and Strider out, and
I didn't even have them making second team.
I had Gausman and Gray on that first team instead of Ohtani and Strider. I thought maybe Strider and Ohtani could make the second team, especially with it being a fan vote. But man, they get the first team nod.
Yeah, not a fan of it. We'll move on over to we'll just do the relief pitching really quick. Keep it in the pitching. As we thought, actually, as I thought, it was the two people that I predicted.
Yeah, we had some back and forth on this one.
Felix Bautista was a lock, as we said, because he was, as you said, in the Cy Young voting up until when he got injured. So it's kind of hard not to give him that. And then the second one, we were debating between Josh Hader and Devin Williams, and it ends up going to the former San Diego Padre now, you'd assume, Josh Hader.
Yeah, former teammates in Devin Williams and Josh Hader battling it out there. I think this is another one where it really could be a flip of a coin, but when you introduce a fan vote and you have this high electricity, velocity, long hair, lefty, I mean, he's the guy who's got a lot of fans right now, you know?
There was a time where people were turning against him because of old tweets and stuff.
Yeah,
I remember.
I don't think that really affected him as much as people thought it would.
It probably shouldn't.
Came back to a standing ovation, so... But yeah, Josh Hader, like I was saying on the last episode, when you look at their numbers, Williams and Hader, they are so close. So I have no problem with him getting the first team nod.
Yeah, Hader having a 1.23 ERA is just crazy. So I mean, he fully deserves it, and congratulations to him. We'll move on over to catcher. We both got this one right. We assumed it would be him, and it's Adley Rutschman of the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, this is one where not only is he like the new poster boy for the MLB, but he's also just a phenomenal player and probably deserves it just based off the merits of that alone.
Yeah, especially at the catching position. They would love to get somebody like him to be all over billboards and stuff.
Very true, and I think he will be for at least the next 6 years until they gotta pay him.
Especially for an up-and-coming team like the Baltimore Orioles right now. Moving on over to first base, this one was heavily debated. It was between two people. We said Freddie Freeman and Matt Olson. And it goes to Freddie Freeman of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
It's been wild to see the year that Olson had.
He's
and
kind of gotten
every single award is going to Freeman, who, if you'll remember that little mix-up with the agent back in the day, where Freeman really could have been on the Braves team for these years as well. That would have been insane to see them playing together still. But no, Olson again gets overshadowed by former Brave Freddie Freeman, who pulls in another award for the Dodgers.
Yeah, and as we said, it's hard to say that he didn't deserve it. He hit over 330. Yeah. He had nearly 60 RBI on a 100-win
Steals
team.
Were in like the 20s, right? Or the teens at least. Pretty wild season for Freddie Freeman.
Not RBI, 60 doubles. He had 59 doubles.
Oh no, he
had
insane.
Over 100 RBI.
Of course.
I mean, the guy he's an on-base machine. Like I just said, he was on a 100-win team again. I mean,
yeah, you said Olson was going to get it. I thought Freeman would get it because he's just been getting the nods, both in Silver Slugger and the MVP vote, which Olson wasn't even included in.
Yeah, it was really a toss-up between them, but Freddie getting the award, it's not really surprising.
No problem, yeah, you could swap first and second in those guys.
I think we know who's going to win second team for the first base. Moving on over to second, we both assumed this would be... we just do second and shortstop here. It's both Texas Rangers, Marcus Semien and Corey Seager, they win up the middle.
I'm happy that the fan vote didn't skew it too much because I know there was so much race to 400 stuff with Luis Arias. I thought that we might see his name on the first team, but with the season Marcus Semien had, nobody in the second base position deserves to be there more than him.
Yeah, he finished top 3 in the MVP for the third time in his career, so... definitely deserves to win All-MLB first team, along with his teammate Corey Seager, who, if Shohei Ohtani wasn't in the American League last year, would have been the American League MVP.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. You look at the numbers, 300s average and thousands in the OPS, that's a given.
Yep, and then finally, rounding out the infield, at third base, it goes to another Atlanta Brave, Austin Riley.
Yeah, this is a guy who just every year produces for them now. Yeah, he was my pick. You didn't want to give it to two Braves. I thought this is the Brave that would get the nod, and it ended up being that way.
I was right. I was wrong on the Braves. You were right, because you said Freeman over Olsen and then Riley over everybody else.
Yeah,
and
who'd you have in third base? Oh, you had Devers.
Yeah,
you went with Devers.
Rafi.
All right, well, yeah, but Austin Riley brings it home, and I think it is deserved. He plays a really solid defensive third base, much better than he did in past years, and that bat is not going anywhere, getting better every year somehow, even though he's continuously putting up 100 RBI.
Yeah, I said it would either be Rafi or Jose Ramirez. Neither of them win, and Austin Riley collects, I think, his second first team All-MLB.
Taking it on over to the outfield now, which is now we'll have DH to cap it off, but the three outfield positions, we thought two of them were a given, and they were Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Braves and Mookie Betts of the Dodgers. Those were two of the three finalists in National League MVP, and now all three finalists are on the All-MLB team there. Deserved.
Yeah, and then the third spot we were debating because there were so many great names that could win that third spot. We were really between two or three guys, Juan Soto, Corbin Carroll, and then maybe like J-Ram was up there. We both had Soto. It ends up going to Corbin Carroll of the Arizona Diamondbacks in his rookie season.
Yeah, don't mind this at all, and I think this is also partially because of the fan vote, because, man, everybody's loving on Corbin Carroll this year. He's the new stud in the league, and people are a fan of the Snakes as well. It adds up to me. He had a phenomenal season.
Hard to deny the guy the honors when he had 25 homers and 50-plus steals.
I don't knock this one at all. He fully deserves to be on there, and it's super cool to see him out there in an outfield with Ronald Acuna Jr. and Mookie Betts. That's got to feel great great for the kid.
As a rookie, that's fantastic honor to have. And then rounding it out in the first team, we're going to go to the designated hitter. No surprise here. It belongs to former Angel, now Los Angeles Dodger, and two-time unanimous MVP award winner Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I really thought Ohtani was going to take first-team honors in designated hitter and second-team honors in starting pitcher.
Me too.
But, man, he gets both this year. He gets first-team twice, which is, obviously, I think it's the first time it happened, because last year it didn't happen,
Yeah.
and it's only newly introduced.
It could only be him.
Yeah, and now he has got it done.
Yeah, so he makes history again. No surprise there.
So much history this year, particularly.
Well, actually, there is a surprise there. The fact that he made first team All-MLB as a pitcher is pretty surprising. I didn't even know if he'd make it as second team, but I also am guilty of forgetting that the fans are stupid and overpower a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if Shohei Ohtani's name's on a fan vote right now, everybody knows that name. They're going to click it. They're going to put it in. And you can't really fault them for it because, I mean, man, it's Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, so those are the first All-MLB team players. Basically, all, and that's the thing is, they are all deserved. It's a little tough to see Spencer Strider getting in there the season he had, but when you are striking out guys at a generational rate, I guess that's what gets you on first MLB team. There are a couple snubs for sure.
I'm okay with basically everything on the first team besides Ohtani and Strider winning first team for pitching. There were just numerous starting pitchers that were better than both of them.
I think it should have been Gausman and Gray myself.
Yeah, and I mean, whatever. We'll get into the second team now, but I think the first team hit on basically every single spot except for those two starting pitching spots.
Agreed. And now we will discuss All-MLB second team. There were definitely some snubs on this one. If you weren't on this list, you didn't get an award, and that can be a tough pill to swallow for sure.
Yeah, some guys that should have made either first or second team aren't even on the list, and there are some names that I see that just really, I don't know why they're here.
In particular, starting pitcher was a tough position this year, which we will start off with that.
I feel like starting pitcher was what they messed up the most on. They really couldn't get that together.
Yeah, I think it's because it's 5 names that people are voting for. I bet a lot of the ballots look so wildly different.
Yeah, definitely.
But starting pitcher ends up, the second team recipients will be Kevin Gausman of the Blue Jays, Sonny Gray of the Twins, who I really thought those two deserved to be on the first team ballot.
Yeah, those are the two names, if you don't want to include Logan Webb, that probably should have been first team over Strider and Ohtani.
Then we have a pair of teammates from the World Series champion Texas Rangers, Nate Eovaldi and Jordan Montgomery.
Head scratchers there.
And then Kyle Bradish of the Baltimore Orioles, who we have given some pretty high praise to this year, but I didn't see him getting this type of honor.
Yeah,
Either way, great year, you know?
Yeah, he had a great year, but I don't really know what he's doing on this list over some others.
This is one you could tell is fan vote oriented because, man, Nate Eovaldi and Jordan Montgomery, I know that there was a lot of fun watching them in this playoff
Recency
run.
bias.
Yeah, this World Series run when other guys like Kyle Bradish really didn't pitch deep into the playoffs at all. Obviously, they got swept out real quick.
4 games.
And so obviously he pitched once. Nate Eovaldi and Jordan Montgomery were in the spotlight the whole time, and that gets them on here. Like you said earlier, man, Logan Webb, who was second in National League Cy Young
Makes no
voting,
sense.
is not on first or second. So he is in the final voting of the National League Cy Young, and you're telling me he's not a top 10 starting pitcher in the majors. That's what they're trying to say on this.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah, I don't buy that. I don't buy that for a second. If you don't think Logan Webb had a better year than Nate Eovaldi, Jordan Montgomery, and Kyle Bradish, I think we got to get your head checked.
It's not just Nate or Logan Webb. I mean, I'll say it again. Kodai Senga was a rookie. He came over. He had a below 2 ERA or below 3. He had a 2.98 ERA, 200 plus strikeouts. Where is he?
Yeah, no, it's wild.
He was better than Eovaldi, Montgomery, and Kyle Bradish.
That's the most frustrating by far as starting pitcher. For some reason, it's so jumbled.
Well, it's
I feel
also
like this should have been better.
If there's ever a fan vote included, Mets players are rarely going to win.
Yeah, I'm surprised about one of the ones we'll talk about later, just because it's a Met.
The only Met.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. The Mets get a bad rap usually from the other 29 fan bases.
Not really understand how that happened or why it happened, but yep, that's where we are.
Very true. But yeah, man, starting pitcher, it was a weird position this year. I mean, congratulations to everybody who got it for sure. And these were great seasons. They were solid seasons for sure, but I don't know if they were all MLB team.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that serious. It's like, it's a after-season award, but like, there were some guys that should have got it that are not present.
Yeah, if
in my
anything,
opinion.
I hope it motivates guys like Logan Webb to come out and be even better next year, man. That would be something.
Yeah, definitely.
Over on relief pitchers, we had Devin Williams from the Brewers, who I thought was going to be on the first team.
The
I think
third place guy.
it's a given that we were going to have this on either the first or the second team. And then the fourth person, we weren't really sure who would get in on that, but Emmanuel Clase from the Guardians gets in.
One of the funniest trades in history, man. I cannot believe the Rangers did that. They traded Emmanuel Clase away for a singular inning of Corey Kluber and Delano DeShields. They also sent away.
It is wild, too, because, man, Emmanuel Clase could have made a huge difference. I mean, they won the World Series anyway, so it's not like they're not feeling the pain from it right now.
You could use a guy like that at the back end of the bullpen, though.
Yeah, I mean, for years to come.
He won first team last year, and
One
now
of the
he's
best
second team this
closers
year.
in the league. It's not even a debate. He's definitely He's definitely top 10, and he might be top 5.
He's
right?
top 5 for sure.
Yeah,
He won first team last year, so he was a top 2 reliever, and now he's a top 4, so he's got to be in the top 5.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm saying when everyone's healthy, though, it gets a little jumbled when you get guys like Edwin Diaz coming back.
Yeah.
And
I mean, when Diaz pitched last year, he was the second person with Edwin
he
Diaz.
was on first team. That is true.
So
should be fun to watch him pitch again.
Yeah, Emmanuel Clase is no joke, dude. He's got a 102-mile-per-hour cutter. I don't know how anybody hits that pitch.
Yeah, absolutely deserved by Devin Williams and Emmanuel Clase. They
don't.
It home for relievers, and they really don't.
They don't hit that pitch. That's the thing.
Moving it on over to catcher, and this is a guy I was really hoping would get some shine in this, and he did, man. Jonah Heim of the Texas Rangers gets the catcher nod. This might be also partially fan vote because of how long it went, but the numbers are there. It supports it.
Yeah, I mean, he was a finalist for Silver Slugger, a finalist for Gold Glove. I mean, he was great. He plays every single day, basically, for the Rangers when he's not injured. Yeah, he definitely deserved it. It was probably between him and JT Realmuto, you'd assume. Maybe Will Smith mixed in there.
Yeah. I think this is one where it's deserved. It might be slightly skewed by fan vote, but at that point, I think it's one of the ones where fan vote might even help it.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
With his popularity, I think he does deserve a little credit here.
The Rangers have a ton of representation on these teams.
On the second team in particular, they are
both.
all over.
I mean, they had 2 first-teamers, too.
Very true, very true. Moving it on over to first base. This is the one, we'll just keep it short and sweet because both of us thought this would be the other one. Matt Olson gets second-team honors for the Atlanta Braves. He just deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to say he's a second-teamer. I think it's 1A, 1B for him and Freddie, so we assumed he would get... Whoever didn't get first team at first base would be getting second team.
Very true. Moving it on over to second base, man. Ozzie Albies, another Atlanta Brave. This one was a bit of a head-scratcher because if you look at the other awards, Ozzie Albies didn't take anything home. Luis Arias, though, was the Silver Slugger for second base and obviously plays a solid defense, too. I mean, I'm wondering if people think that Albies' defense at second is so much better that he deserves to be on the second team over Arias.
I think that is a factor, and also the fact that Ozzie Albies had over 100 RBI as a second baseman.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised when Arias got the Silver Slugger over him anyway, so I don't hate this.
It was the 350. You can't not give a Silver Slugger to somebody who hit 354.
This is one of those ones where, like you said, it's all MLB second team, so it's not that serious, and I could see it being either one of those guys. But yeah, I think this one, because if it was up to the voters, they would have given it to Luis Arias, considering how they did give him Silver Slugger in the National League. But with the fan vote, Ozzie Albies gets it. I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Shortstop now, man. This is the one we were talking about earlier. The only New York Met getting honored on either one of these lists will be the shortstop Francisco Lindor, Mr. Smile himself. Thank God to see him getting some credit finally for what he's done this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best players. I'm not even going to say shortstops. He's one of the best players in baseball. He's become very underrated in a way after he got paid because people just shit on him continuously. Even Mets fans shit on him. It's very, very weird. He's developed like a hater fan base that follows him everywhere he goes, and he didn't let it affect him. He had a 30-30 season, and, I mean, that's just New York. It's what happens.
I think it's been really interesting to see a lot of guys crumple under the pressure that he's been put under the last couple of years, but quite literally, he goes out there with a smile, and he keeps it going. He had a couple of spouts of sarcastic beef with the media and everything. That's bound to happen because he gets flack for things that is just, it's wild, But this year, he really performed, man. He had a 30-30 season, like you said. And, yeah, you were saying you thought maybe they might have given this to Bobby Witt, but we're happy that he goes to Francisco Lindor.
Absolutely. I wouldn't have been surprised if Bobby Witt got this, considering he was the only other shortstop in the league that had a 30-30 season besides Lindor. And neither of them were going to win it over Seager for the first team. So it was between those two for second. And yeah, like you said, I'm very glad that a New York Met and Mr. New York Met, I'll say, because he's going to be here for quite some time, is honored for second team at shortstop.
Yeah, congratulations to him moving it on over to third base. I was a little surprised at this one because I thought it might be Rafael Devers here, but no, they give it to Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians. He's a guy who, if there's awards to be had, Jose Ramirez's name is going to be in the discussion every single year. It has been for probably half decade, maybe a little longer now.
Yep, one of the most consistent baseball players we get to watch every single day. He doesn't really get hurt. He goes out there and he plays, and this is the guy that the Guardians decided to lock up over Francisco Lindor to keep as their cornerstone. So he rewards them with a second-team honor.
Yeah, can't knock it at all. Devers had a phenomenal year, and like I said, when you get snubbed from that second team, you bring nothing home. It's hard not to see Devers' name on either of these lists.
Yeah, and speaking of snubbing on the second team and not getting any awards after this, for the outfield, I mean, there were so many guys.
That's the thing. With only six being given out on first and second team, man, I mean, it's a long list of talented players.
I'm not even going to read these three names first before I say this. How is Juan Soto not in the top six?
Yeah, I'm super disappointed to not see Juan Soto
What
here.
is that?
Personally, I had him in my first team with Betts and Acuna.
Me too.
And his name isn't on the list at all. Yeah, that is absolutely befuddling.
You're going to find out exactly why he's not on the list, because the stupid fans took over again, and the first person to get the award was Aaron Judge of the Yankees, who missed a month plus as Juan Soto plays every day of the year.
Brutal.
Adolis Garcia's going to get it for some reason over him. And then, I'll take it, even Kyle Tucker winning it over Juan
Kyle
Soto.
Tucker led the American League.
I don't care.
RBI.
He wasn't better than Juan Soto. I don't care.
I don't mind seeing Garcia and Tucker on here. I kind of just thought this would be Garcia,
You
Tucker,
taking
and
either
Soto.
of them over Juan Soto?
No, but I would. That's the thing is I would take Soto over all of these
That's
guys.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why is he not in the top six?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's got to be a fan vote thing, you'd think, but who's not a fan of Juan Soto?
It's not about not being a fan of Juan Soto. It's about people ride Aaron Judge no matter
that one,
what.
it's fair enough, I guess.
Garcia, I guess that's the Rangers' recency bias because they're all over these lists. I mean, like we said with Eovaldi and Montgomery, they don't belong here either.
That happens a lot, yeah.
And then Kyle Tucker, I guess you said he led the American League in RBI, but still, he's not better than Juan Soto. He had three more RBI than Juan Soto, okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
No, this is one where it comes down to the fan vote getting Aaron Judge in. I think if it wasn't him, it would be Soto, and I think that's what it should be.
Yeah,
It's disappointing, but at the end of the day, when you introduce a fan vote, it's always going to be skewed like this. People just love Aaron Judge. I feel like the guy could play 5 games, and his name would be on this list.
Yeah, he did have a good year still. He had 37 home runs.
Oh, yeah, he would have had a mammoth year if he played the full, but the point is he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other guy played literally 162 games and put up career numbers. I mean, open your eyes, you know?
Yep.
Moving on over to DH, this one's a given. We knew that if it wasn't Shohei Ohtani, it was going to be Yordan Alvarez. Those were the top 2 DHs this year in what was a really star-studded field anyway, but those two were head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah, there was only like 1 or 2 guys I could think maybe that they would give it to over Alvarez. It would be maybe like Jorge Soler. I don't think so though. Or JD Martinez was another one for the Dodgers. But yeah, it's 1A, 1B again with Shohei and Yordan at the DH position. They're both just fantastic hitters.
Yeah, now that we have run through the All-MLB first and second team, I just wanted to shout out my biggest snubs, which was Rafael Devers, Juan Soto, and Logan Webb. What you did was not overlooked in my eyes. I will always think back fondly on how great they played this season.
Yeah, I mean, my top 3 snubs are Soto, Webb, and I have no idea how Kodai Senga didn't make either of these teams with the year that he had. Well, I do. It's because he's on the Mets and the fan vote ruins it. But That's fine. I'm coming across as a salty fan right now, but it's so stupid. Every time there's a fan vote,
and it happened aggressively at the All-Star game.
You see the same three teams always benefit. It's the Braves, the Dodgers, and the Yankees who always benefit from fan votes.
Yeah, it kind of just, like, the most heavily covered teams nationally just skew the hell out of these things. I mean...
It's just getting boring.
I mean, what was it? Arcia made the All-Star game over
what
Francisco
the fuck is that?
Lindor. That's insane, and he was starting.
Yeah, he sucks. Orlando Arcia sucks. If anybody's listening to this and you think he doesn't, please tell me why, because he fucking sucks. Look at the rest of his career. He's never been good.
Fan votes always skew this shit. I mean... It's bound to happen. I guess it's part of the game now because that's how it is, but I wish it wasn't. I do wish this was voted on by like a panel of voters and just introduced to people, but
it should be a panel of players, coaches, and front office members.
I think that's
it.
Part of the reason is Major League Baseball wants to have fans stay engaged and stay interested in the offseason, so they have them voting on it to keep them like interested in baseball names, baseball players, teams, and all that, but it is what it is. There are definitely a couple big snubs here.
Yeah, but my only gripe with it is like I'm never gonna go and like use this as a reference on how I value a player's career.
No, you shouldn't.
I'm not gonna be like, Aaron Judge won All-MLB second team this many times.
What's so tough though is that All-Stars really are used like that.
Not anymore.
They really are though.
Not for me anymore.
That's what's tough because when you look at someone and you're like, he was a 15-time All-Star.
Lindor wasn't an All-Star last year,
and that's crazy.
And that's why I don't care about
it. That's
a
tough snub. Yep, that is a tough snub.
It does not matter to me anymore. If there's a fan vote involved, I don't care about the award. Genuinely, it means so little at that point.
Yeah, and if this is coming across as salty, man, I mean, to break it
because
down,
it is. Honestly.
Well, to break it down, we are satisfied and happy with 95% of these names. But that other 5% it's pretty egregious.
Yeah, because, I mean, people are going to use this as arguments for their career. They're going to be like, Jordan Montgomery made second team this year. Give him more money. Yeah, he shouldn't have made it.
No, and I wonder if players are going to start using that as a negotiation tactic that they made All-MLB second team.
They better not.
And how will teams respond to that because it is part fan vote?
They should laugh at them.
And I would love to hear, I want it to come out more because when you look up, it says a combination of fan vote and a council. What is the combination?
They don't tell you.
What are the percentages? No, really, I would love to know more about that as well. But those are the All-MLB first and second teams. Some big snubs, a lot of deserving candidates getting their awards, though.
Yeah, let us know if you guys have any difference of opinions, not only to the list, but ours, too. I mean, you don't have to agree with us at all.
Yeah, I mean, damn, if you think that Orlando Arcia is a great player, let us know why.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to call you probably an idiot, but you're entitled to your own opinion, I suppose.
Thank you to everyone for watching and listening wherever you do. This was episode 63 of the 9 Frames podcast, and it is Monday, December 18th, 2023. I've been Bill Whalen.
And I've been Mike Whalen.
Catch us, as always, on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is at 9 Frames Pod. Be sure to follow us on there, subscribe on YouTube, like, comment, and share if you enjoyed the show. Yeah, we hope you had a great weekend. As the new week rolls on, we'll continue to bring you updates on Wednesday and Friday, potentially with Yoshinobu Yamamoto news. Maybe other players. I mean, we don't know. Cody Bellinger, anybody could sign. Very true. Fun little episode here talking about the All-MLB teams with you guys. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our takes and with the voting panel, all of the fans, I guess, also. Do you agree with who got the awards? Who do you think should have? Let us know. Yeah, we'll catch you guys on Wednesday. Have a good week.